So Raze does have the ability to really lock down pretty much all of A if they really want to. So you're seeing Mendo on Raze, on Bind. So at least those things are there, but I want to see what it's going to lead into. They are starting on the attacking side first, so we'll see what happens.
Yep, this does shift Poach over onto the Sage. Of course, you still need to have that Sage available, so that's going to be an opportunity for them. You also have a Raze, of course, on the opposite side for the defenders. Stewie potentially being the one, unless he stays on the Phoenix as well. But just like that, it's going to be a side swap. Now, Twitch chat, we needed to hear you guys a little bit earlier. Team Liquid's Twitch account thinks that Mendo will wake up. If you feel that Mendo and the rest of his friends for Team Valorant have the potential to get the win, type in Valorant in chat. If you feel like, though, the CSGO is going to make it yet again 3 maps out of 3, type in CSGO in chat and let us know who you feel is going to come out on top here. Is pistol round from nap number 1 already kicking itself off and potentially creating opportunities for Team Valorant.
Well, you can already see Mendo get involved. Despite that Sage wall, does throw a bomb over the top and gets one on the back end with the cluster. So damage being dished out, just no one to find for it just yet. No entry frag for these guys to attack and pounce on. So
Shroud's playing that Sova as well, so we get kind of a shift of playstyle from Shroud, and we saw him playing that Sova a little bit earlier, and of course having fun with that recon shot and creating some chances for them to do something. Is unfortunately, though, they're going to get stopped in their tracks just yet. Making go down to the wire. Less than 15 seconds before the spike is going to have to get planted. Of course, they did full commit over onto the A side, and now the frags are going to have to happen as it's trades back and forth. Twist, of course, picking up that final one that you see on your screen. They're going to have to make something happen. Spike has been dropped. They're going to have to pick that one up. Oh no, they were able to successfully get the plant. I stand corrected. My mind, my eyes deceive me.
Well, the plant is down. The shots are out. Twist getting a 3K. Can he make it 4 with Nitro's help? Backside of the box. Can't shoot through that. It does penetrate as he's just taking a slow peek. And Ace takes his time, gets a 3K, and gets the first round win here for the Valorant team.
All right. Well, they finally get themselves a solid start. As we take a look back over at the replay, and it was a lot of back and forth. But thankfully, Ace helps themselves out, and now having the economy advantage essentially in their hands, this could create lots of opportunities for Team Valorant to get themselves a little bit of an early lead and start themselves off. Nobody has enough time for a full buy by any means, so the question will be, are they going to pop over on SMGs, or are they going to kick in with some pistols and just to save up as much money as possible?
Yeah, it looks like they're both going to eco. There's a couple with the Spectre coming out, but overall just pretty passive on it. I was actually surprised nobody went for that wall bank either on the back end. So interesting decisions here. Not going to question somebody who's way better at the game than I will ever be. So
there's a reason why we're on the mic and not on the mouse and keyboard.
Yep, moving along as Stewie does find Ace, drops him down relatively quick, but the Shroud pick up for the trade as they're looking to entry frag into Hookah. Sky smoke drops down. It's going to squander that a little bit as they back off. Might be able to rotate back towards A if they feel like it, as both Shroud and Cypher have the ability to rotate out here.
Tries to give him a little bit of a piece of knowledge. Poach heals himself back up. Was revealed, as you can see on the screen. So, of course, those Cypher cameras helping out a whole bunch. Because now he's going to try to see if he can hold himself off of an angle. But still a slow time, as it looks like you've got multiple members of the defenders actually rotating themselves over onto the A site, thinking that there's going to be a side swap. But it doesn't look like they do it just yet. Just as that Sova recon drone ends as well, that's going to be the go button that gets pressed essentially by Team CSGO. They have 20 seconds to be able to take on to this. Elise picks up one on a Poach, but then immediately you're having other members that are getting into the fray. Shroud and Nafi are able to take one apiece. This now moves it down to a 3v2. That does give an opportunity, though, for the spike to get planted, which means it's going to have to be a retake. How much of that is going to be necessary, though, as Kellar picks up one, picks up a second, and a round 2 victory. Going to go ahead and be in favor of Team Valorant. So, didn't have a lot of weapons to work with, but thankfully they were able to have some patience and rotate themselves back around over on that B site. and pull themselves off a chance.
Really good re-peek as well at the end there towards Keller. Despite being in there and going for the wall bang, he fades a little to the left, so the shots actually go over his right shoulder before he decides to turn and go for that re-peek to clutch it up. So good decision-making coming out from Valorant here early on. They said this was going to be their map. Mendo wanted to wake up. And so far, so good for them. It's getting 2 rounds in a row.
Still a lot of Valorant left to be played, though.
That it is, Jump. That it is. As we see Shroud and crew trying to bait, actually, the orb pickup. It's 2 ways to push into A. 1 here through short side, and then 1 through the bath, or showers, as the pros have been calling it. Use that owl drone to see if they can find anybody. Wallbang coming out. Not going to hit anything, so that drone might be able to spot 1 to determine if they want to push this or not. Some things, though, still remain the same, as we have Cypher on the backside, just covering that solo angle, making sure they don't get flanked. So just trying to decide what they want to do, see if they can bait out any of this utility.
Kind of some split decisions by the attackers right now. You literally have the spike in the middle of the map as they are trying to decide which way that they do want to go. A solid defensive effort so far.
30 seconds still left in the round. Shots coming out from Ace. Does manage to find out on twists. Mendo did get tagged a little bit there, as he was already using the healing capabilities of Sage to come back to 100. He was at 40 before, as Naf drops one down. Is the semi-auto rifle.
It's going to be
Click
Mendo.
heads. It can do some major damage, but the boost up as well from the orbital wall. That barrier orb providing a little bit of a height difference. As they have the plant down, just holding this angle, just trying to wait it out. Spots 1. Ace picks up his 3rd for the round.
Cage triggered.
A little bit of zoning coming out from that ultimate by Shroud as well, so that stops them in their tracks just a little bit. Keller tries to see if he can go through the smoke, to see if he can pop onto anybody. Does find Naf. Swaps off the SMG over onto the Phantom. Nitro not going to do too much to swap it around, and thankfully, round number 3 going in favor of the attackers. So Mendo, big boost of wanting to do something here on Bind, starting to work itself out, Lawler.
You know, it's one thing to say run it back and be confident in it, but to actually prove it 3 in a row. Obviously, still a lot to be played here, but it's the way that they're playing as well. They're a little bit more confident in some of these bomb sites. You see it as soon as they get that plant down, a little bit more aggressive, immediately falling back and holding their angles. It just doesn't feel as rushed as it did before. So playing a little bit more confident here, and it's making a world's of difference for the Valorant team. Also upset Ace is 6-1.
I mean, you know, Ace is, you know, people are talking about Mendo needing to wake up. Well, he's needing to wake up as well. He has been a late night grinder, though it is almost 5 p.m. on the West Coast. But I mean, you know, hey, everybody's got a sleep schedule. Some people don't, like myself. You know, we're all isolating. We're all hanging out. We're not leaving our house. So, you know, there's when you're awake and there's when you're not awake, and that's pretty much the only thing that exists right now.
Gamer hours are the only hours right now, which is kind of weird.
When is Team Liquid playing? All right, got it. Sleep. I know that's where a lot of Twitch chat's rotations are right now, especially after this weekend.
Get out of my way!
That is fine by Nitro and Bath by Shroud.
Wall raised.
Can use that wall to boost himself back up, gets a peek over the top, and drops immediately 2 more. So Nitro taking full advantage of that Sage capability as he gets a 3K for himself, but immediately gets dropped down by Keller. Fortunately for him, the information is there for Elise. They do pick one up, going to take the Vandal as well. And they just need to get the defuse, so Phoenix does pick it up, and a round back in favor of the CS team. Pretty good stuff all around here.
Can't go wrong. As now, it will be a little bit of a slower round after that, because Team Valorant doesn't look like they have too much money to work with. It does look like they're going to slow it down just a little bit.
I will find you.
As here we are. Round number 5 underway. Immediately, he rushes over and gets himself a point, and then picks himself up a kill. Says, thank you, Shroud. I appreciate that one.
Going up.
Then tries to deny a little bit in the direction with that blaze as well as the curveball to stop anybody. Tries to back up. Keeps himself vision there through the window to make sure that nobody decides to fall themselves down, as only 2 players left alive on Team Valorant, and they do have the spike in hand, but it's going to be a very difficult take for them. As we can see on the minimap, there are a lot of Cypher opportunities, so questions are going to have to be had here.
Yeah, spike cam, you can see the A side as well, covering that mid push into hookah. So has that big swing point. Really good as well, because if someone does decide to take teleporter across, they can. As the defending Cypher, covering A has some information as well coming out. So you're going to start to see that team swing, but the more important thing is if the defending Cypher does find anybody, you know that information is going to be pushed out immediately. And they can get away with the trade, but it doesn't matter. They tried to go through the teleport and dropped right away. Elise with a shot on Poach. Still there. Bait the plants, and it doesn't matter. Elise has the angle, gets the drop. Well played by the defenders here.
Gonna give him a little bit of an extra boost and another round 1. Favors CSGO, of course. It's starting itself off with Nitro getting 2 easy kills, of course, on that operator. Helping them out a whole heck of a lot. Is still trying to figure out themselves a groove. We haven't seen too much crazy teleporter action just yet, but you can see definitely a much more joined effort by Team Valorant so far, and this is kind of what Mendo was talking about. Despite the fact that he's only sitting at a 1-5-3 stat line, still going to be options, as a 0.8 isn't going to be able to do too much, but hopefully the shot calls could potentially get them, is now economy working right into the favor of Team CSGO, as now that is match to match as far as the gunplay goes.
Yeah, you can see the good infill play by Stewie. Has that initial push with the flash coming from that curveball. And as soon as he backs out, immediately rotates back to elbow on site, right into the hands of where Nitro's sitting with an operator. So, utilizing those angles in the backup to the team, but a rocket into hookah. Can he pick anybody up for it? And Mendo showing what he's capable of, gets a pick on Nitro, but Stewie with the 2K on his own. Has the reload switch to the pistol, doesn't matter. Another one jumps out. And just like that, what started like an even fight goes down 4-0. And I'm a little nervous now.
It seemed like Team Valorant just wanted to go in and somehow get onto these challenges, as Mendo, despite the fact that he was able to get the starting kill off on a Nitro, Stewie's little 2K there on a Poach and Shroud certainly got them off. And then by that, it was just single file line out of the smoke. And then the final wallbang by Twist to get themselves exactly where they wanted. And now you take a look, 2 members are sitting on over 10,000 credits. So economy definitely in favor of CSGO, and this is where things could start to get ugly, Lawler.
Yeah, not only was it eco that they're winning on some of these rounds, but now it's transitioning the other way, and it looks like they're getting more comfortable with some of these positions. I mean, Stewie started it off, like I said, really aggressive, and that's not going to change as he picks up an early kill here on Poach, but as soon as that happens, they're not afraid to back off and then take these angles and then hold position. So they got to find a way to coordinate. I was actually more surprised to see that the Valorant team didn't swing A after that. So curious to see on how this one plays out. This is a one-way smoke by Cypher. For those that don't know, he can actually play it on top of that box and see underneath it, because when you go into the pit of A, it actually gives you a different elevation with those stairs. So Twist finding one around the wall, Navi finding the second one. 2 wall bangs back to back, but keep peeking the same angle, you're going to get the same results. And Nafi picks up another kill for the Flawless.
It was the domino effect of our POVs. We saw switch to player, fall down, switch to player, fall down, and again, almost single file, and it's you can see some lack of coordination on Team Valorant, because it's just when you see one player peak and they go down, another one is coming right off, and you can't do these repeated peaks against a team like Liquid CSGO, where they have this knowledge that can create. So now they pull themselves out to their first advantage of the map, 4-3, as we go into round number 8.
Slow play here in mid. Shroud obviously now on Sova. So for those that are unfamiliar with this kid, signature ability is a recon bolt. Has the ability to shoot that and choose how many times it bounces. But I think he might second guess peek in that angle as Nitro removes his friend. Gonna rotate the way the other side, but don't know if it's gonna get any better. Both those angles are all covered here.
Gonna be a slow play. We saw Shroud, of course, pop off with his own pistol earlier, but still gonna have to take his time. Of course, that Sova recon helping make sure that there's nobody around on the B site, and there's actually not. All four rather, players you actually do see hanging out around on the bottom of A site, and it does look like they want to go in. Naf picks up one up on a Shroud, picks up a second there on a Poach, and we're seeing a deja vu of the last round of everyone trying to push through past his teleporter. It's just not going to be enough as Team CSGO yet again. Another flawless victory, 5-3 in their favor.
Definition of an insanity here, Jump. Peeking the same angle one at a time, getting picked off one at a time. So if I was them, I would avoid that A connection because it is not going well. And you saw, it was unfortunate too, because despite that, Shroud did play that recon bolt, and although he didn't spot anybody, it's because it is an LOS ability. And Stewie, I'm pretty sure, was the one on the back side of that, just hovering. So, again, or no, it was Twist, I think, with the raise. So, again, they still funnel into that same spot that has been spelling trouble for them. I commend them on trying to challenge it, but I don't know, I just don't foresee it changing anytime soon.
But I commend him for challenging it, but then I also damn them for challenging it.
I don't agree with it.
Two times in a row now.
By all means, Jump, I commend them, but I don't agree.
Something's going to have to give, though, because momentum is certainly starting to flow back into the favor of Team CSGO. See that Owl Drone going to help provide them a little bit of something, but Nitro simply says, good night, Mendo. You ain't waking up anytime soon. Stewie also replies with 2 kills himself. Nitro picks himself up a second one onto Shroud. And now there's only one player left alive. It's going to be Poach. And just as it began, he's going to find a bullet through the noggin as Stewie picks himself up a third. And yet again, a victory in favor of Team CSGO.
Stewie 2K, more like Stewie 3K on this one. Just utilizing that kit so well. And even if it doesn't land with that flash, that shot just pinpoint right on the face. You're going to see him here. Drops the curveball, flashes the teammate. Poach has no idea what's about to hit him. Just making it look too easy, man.
They're not better than me.
Of course, Ace's Jet already with the voice line saying they're not better than me. Well, they're certainly on the stat line doing itself justice as 6-3 in favor of Team CSGO, certainly propelling them to a solid spot. Mendo, though, immediately getting himself an opening frag. That's going to be a huge bonus for them as Shroud uses that Owl Drone to see if he can find out exactly where they are. Thankfully, it does look like things are pretty clean for them. So that will give them an opportunity to at least slow push over here onto the A site. A smoke comes out from Ace on that Jet. That's going to give Shroud the opportunity to place down the spike. They're going to play down some oppressive fire to make sure that nobody pops around that corner. The audio cues will tell them a rough direction of where it's at, but it's not going to be enough just yet. Orbital Strike comes down, isn't able to pick anybody up just yet. You do see the Sova ultimate that's going to be coming through just a second. Nitro picks up a headshot onto Mendo, then reses his teammate before falling down to Mendo's bot himself, as Naf picks himself up one as well. Kellar tries to see if he can do the one to save the team, but Naf picks himself up a second. That's going to be a defuse. A much better effort by Valorant, but it gets stopped in its tracks by Naf.
Again, they still push that same angle where they've been punished before, but this time they actually get the entry frag as well as the plant. But in those moments, that's when you need to back off. After all this happens, they're covering that angle. You need to force them to come to you. Yet you see no one in back. You see no one positioning in a different side for that crossfire. So all that aggression has just led to one spot. Same with Keller, though, getting beat. Gets the first shot, but then why he switches to his knife, not sure, but gets caught out for it. So after going down 0-3, we have 7 rounds in a row to the CS team.
Certainly putting themselves exactly where they want to be in the last couple rounds of the defensive half for them. Stewie then tries to throw a curveball around and gets a nice little flip with the run it back, and it's exactly what he wants to be able to use. It is, like you mentioned earlier, is almost if run it back was built for Stewie himself. Run in, do his job, and then before anything goes to worst, uses it back as Mendo able to pick himself up a pretty solid one there, make that a second there on a NAF. Now it's going to be a 2v1 situation for the defense. He's going to try to see if he can bounce himself around with the blast pack, hold himself on an angle on the opposite side of the teleporter here on the A site.
Run into Sage and get dropped. Had the right idea, covered the right angle. It's just Nitro shot too clean. Unfortunate they had the play, but I mean, we joke about it, but I honestly believe there's nothing scarier than two Stewies on the field. The ability to just go in, play aggressive, and then immediately know where that player is and go right back at it. Mendo had a good attempt here, though. He gets a couple and just isn't sure if there's anybody peeking from this angle, so that blast pack to jump across might catch someone off guard, but
unfortunately, he didn't have the spike as well, so not only was it just difficult being in a 2v1, but more importantly, he had to backtrack. And thankfully, Team CSGO knew exactly where they were. Is yet again, it's the fight around the A site as Twist leads it off with a drop down on a Mendo, so that's going to be unavailability for him. As you can hear the shots coming through, Kellar trying to hide behind these double boxes, as he only has a Spectre to work with, unfortunately. Shroud peeks around.
Sage using that double lift as well. They get some information that there might be one through the horseshoe. He'll be there peeking heaven. Does find one in tower as the leech comes around the corner. They know another one's there, so Shroud in a really rough spot as he gets revealed, and they immediately peek by Leech, giving him his third kill of the round. And again, up to Mendo. Gets one on Nap. Can't get the second on Leech as the Leech picks up his fourth. And again, Ace drops again, but can he pick up the ace? He does. Leech finally doesn't get denied for it this time, picks up all 5 and puts them at 9-3.
Only fitting that he gets the ace onto Ace himself, as we can take a look at the replay, and it was popping off through and through. As thankfully now that's going to move them to 9-3 as we enter the second half, and almost as quickly as we thought Team Valorant was actually going to start to be doing something beneficial here. Team CSGO certainly showcasing, hey, we're still the best FPS tactical shooters out here.
Well, now that we get a round switch, this is where I think Mendo feels most comfortable. He's been able to be a little bit more impactful here on Bind, but where we've seen him be most excellent in previous weeks has been on defense, on Ace side. So being aggressive with that boombot and seeing what he can do with it
Camera taken out.
could be very telling here early on, as Shroud does pick up a headshot right away on Nitro, giving them the advantage. Just
It's
waiting
a start,
out.
but is it going to be enough, as they're yet again have a lot of rounds to cover? They don't have 10. Now they only have 6 that they're behind, so it's a little bit of a better effort. But still. Team CSGO's been on fire. A slower start here in the pistol round. Despite the fact that they went down, does still like they're going to rotate over here on the B side.
Not sure if Stewie can hear that audio cue. There is a Cypher spy cam up top, so it does look like he takes it down, but you can look at where Cypher is placed. Just on the back side, just trying to take that angle, seeing if he can catch anybody coming in through hookah. It looks like they've transitioned over to archways. Just trying to peek. Bunch of sky smoke drop down, so every angle being covered. As Kellar does find one back in the hallway. Picks up 2, makes it 3. Now it's just down to a Liege, and just like that, a flawless round coming out from the Valorant team. Well played.
They needed this. They needed some sort of momentum. A flawless victory at the beginning of this half certainly does that. Gives them a chance to have some solid buys, but still have some rounds to cover. Thankfully, this can start them off on a solid effort, assuming that they can continue to take advantage of the fact that they do have the weapon advantage as well as the potential ability advantage as well.
Yeah,
This could give a couple rounds under their belt.
Not surprised at all with the full buy. These guys need to be as aggressive as possible and try to push this lead. So a long way to make up, though. Yeah. Chicken Angle pops up on the stage wall. They do flop over the top as Stewie and the rest get dropped, but it doesn't matter as Mendo shows exactly why Raze causes people to rage.
4 kills with the same ability. And Mendo, oh my. I see it here on the replay. Oh, Stewie tried, and then it was 4 kills in a row. That's going to be a rage-inducing way to end a round.
The benefit of pushing up all as a group is just what Raze can really do. Not only with that initial paint bomb, but then the cluster that comes after it. It's just so much damage to be dealt. And the benefit of all those kills is you know it's going to carry through. Now his ultimate's going to be charged faster. So there's a lot of things that double down with Mendo when he plays this aggressive playstyle on a Raze. Especially in a team like CS where they're going to group up and try to take those multiple attack points. So it looked like it was going to be in favor. My MVP of the series, we'll find out later. But let's hop back into the match.
We'll find out. Don't worry. Chat, just have some patience.
Preemptive
okay.
MVP vote. Sorry, chat. Keep it in mind. Something to think about.
Don't worry. The script is still being written. The game is not over just yet.
Yeah, just pretend you didn't see that. Keep being active in chat. It's all about the giveaway, remember?
Yeah. You didn't see anything. Wave of your hands.
Yep.
There's now 45 seconds left in round 15. Does look like it's going to be a shift over onto the A side again. Shroud using that recon bolt and the huge range that it has to be able to see if they can spot out where these attackers are going to go. There's the brimstone smokes that are coming out. Mendo throws himself yet again. Some utility outside the Raze to kind of stop them in their tracks from where they want to go. There is a camera available as well on the Cypher. You can see on the minimap of where exactly it is. And now this is where things are going to start to get frisky with only 10 seconds left remaining. They're going to have to get kills or they're going to have to find a way to plant the spike. Because it doesn't look like it's going to be anything just yet. 4-3. Spike has been planted. That's going to be a retake opportunity now for Mendo, Shroud, and the boys. As Keller picks up one on a twist, that's going to be a raise down. That's his third, actually, of the kill. Fourth, as he picks one up on a nitro. Shroud getting down by Nafi. But thankfully, Mendo gets the trade. And that's going to be a defused spike. And so it looked like a difficult situation for Valorant, but they pulled themselves off, defended the retake. And there you have it. 6-9 at the end of round 15.
Really well played here. The initial aggression was there. They had it. It's just you're seeing Shroud start to use a little bit more of those strats with the Sova, especially on this map, which can be clutch. But you saw it. It looked like it was going in favor of the CS team.
I know it.
But then Keller just shows what he's capable of. This is what we saw during the Pro-Am. His ability to clutch 1v4s if he needs to. Picks up a 4K, makes it really easy for his teammates. So, well done there by Keller. There's a reason why he's the top fragger right now for his team. Let's see if he can carry it through here. As they're trying to tie it up, still down by 3.
The aggressive buys at the end of course, round 13, coming into round 14, helped them out quite a bit, but they're going to have to keep that one up as this gets deeper, there will be more economy available on Team CSGO, and once they get the kind of 1-to-1, that's going to be an opportunity. As Ace takes down Stewie, that's actually ends up being the spike being dropped as well, so they will be able to defend this as they come around. Ace, knowing this willingly, tries to come across. Nice little snap on a nitro on the top of boxes. As he picks him up, Poach picks up another one on a twist too. As we say that, though, he gets traded off, but Mendo and Poach, they're cleaning it up. Round 16 in favor of Team Valorant. Now moving in with between 2 rounds.
Jump, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some resistance from the Valorant team. Defense, I knew, is where it was their strongest point. And the fact that they end up on this in the second half, I think really benefits them. So this is where it gets interesting. I want to see how CS adapts. Right now, they've been pushing really heavily on A, but we have yet to see Teleporter play and come into pack. We have yet to see really heavy B pushes. I want to see them try to take this into their own hands on attack. Slow it down, really play that smart play style, and bait some of this utility because it's only going to get worse.
Well, it does look like there is going to be a buy now for these attackers. They are going to actually have a little bit more in their hands. But thankfully, Ace already starting himself off and helping them through. Ace almost goes through the teleporter. The teleporter bait. Tries to wallbang through the wall. Mendo walks forward enough to make sure he gets opened. He's going to come across. Nitro uses his ultimate on Stewie too, so now he's going to come back to the fray, but it's still going to be a disadvantage for them as Elige ends up falling to Poach.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Slower played into tower. Does make him back off on that approach. So they have two now. See Pain Pack come out. Bomb Pack does not connect with anybody as they're trying to peek this site. And we see Ace go aggressive and gets rewarded. 4 kills on the side of Ace using that Jet ultimate. We've seen some clips of his on his own channel. You know he can carry it over here as well.
Well, there you have it. Finally, Ace starting to pop off a little bit, especially considering the fact that that Jet ultimate, as you mentioned, gets the knives on the reset. As now they move within 1. Could this be Team Valorant
Now, where to set
actually taking control on this defender side here in Bind and potentially seeing if they can get themselves tied up, as it has been quite a difficulty for them previous to this map. Of course, the first 2 maps going over in favor of Liquid CSGO. Mendo saying, we don't want to move things around. We believe themselves a win on Bind, and some momentum that they've been able to create for themselves keeps that dream alive as Shroud opens up the round. And still left to go. 70 seconds left remaining in the round.
Great guy smoke placement as well. Right on top of Shroud, who backed up with that operator. But you can see the benefits. For those that don't know, abilities and utility do go through those teleporters. So Halo checking before going in. You see him use that pain as they drop down. Trades coming left and right on the site. There's one here in archways. Shroud just trying to peek, and it doesn't matter. The back of Ace is going to climb it up, and we're all evened up in the scoreboard. 9-9. And again, we're seeing the advantage come out. But that was an eco round from the CS team.
6 rounds in a row for Team Valorant. They have won every single round of the defensive side. So already putting themselves off to a solid start. But as you mentioned, it was more of an eco round. CSGO will have a little bit more to work with now, as it does look like they have decided to full purchase. And it's time for players to step up. Stewie found himself some solid effort early, but hasn't been able to be the better Raze player just yet, as you get to see Mendo's experience on Bind, specifically playing that Raze, and this is something that we brought up of how successful is it actually going to be, and so far, it's working out favor as 9-9 as we enter round 19.
Hey, man, that's what he said, man. He wanted the run back. He wanted another opportunity to show what his bread and butter was all about, so glad to see it stepping up and evening out for both these players, but I think a lot of it as well has to do with the overall champion picks. You're seeing some difficulties, but both are running Raze now, a map that I think is really beneficial or being on Bind, because those choke points are very difficult to get around. So haven't seen too much utilization of the teleporter for rotation as an orbital strike comes down. Luckily nobody gets hit, but plenty of grenades to couple with it. Could be a strong push onto B. You already see 3 on site. This Poach falls back in the hallway, gets bopped by Stewie. The information is there.
They're not out of the woods just yet, though. Naf picks up one onto Keller, which then moves it into favor for CSGO as they have decided to come across and around onto the B site. We've seen so much action on the A site, but now this is where things are going to start to get frisky. Ace able to pick up some kills. He ends up dashing over onto the other side. It barely misses around the corner. The Shroud's going to have to be forced to a reset, kick the corner onto the hallway to see if he can have it. But it's going to be enough. It's going to be just him. He tries to flick. It's not going to be enough. Naf picks up a 3K for the round. And there you have it. Finally, the first round of the second half going into favor of CSGO.
Great response by the attacking side for CS. A couple clutch plays here and there. You're checking hallway and then immediately backing out. So for Ace to peek that elbow, probably the dangerous one, especially when he's on defense. The bomb is planted, so he has to play that aggression. So that early and aggressive push coming out from the CS team really paying off here as they swing it back into their favor. Feeling like this one might come down to the wire like we hoped. I think if the Valorant team was on offense, maybe not the case, but early frags coming out for Twist, picks up 2 before some evening out goes down as Stewie gets dropped.
And thankfully, because of the severe advantage that they had coming into this half, a couple good rounds of this could place them within striking distance of a 3-for-3 victory on all 3 maps. Currently standing at 10-9. And they have the chances, but as we say that, Spike is planted down. That's going to have to be a retake situation for Mendo and the boys. Satchel, unfortunately, isn't able to go through the little bit of crevice. It does take down the sage wall, so it will help a little bit. Crouch doesn't help out Mendo the way that he wants to. His trades come back and forth, and now it's a 1v2. Poach, the only one left alive on Team Valorant. As we say that, he uses the Sage ultimate that is now available onto Mendo. As now it moves it down to a 2v2 situation. Throws down the Cypher cam to make sure that there isn't any extra things to be seen. Poach takes down Elijah's Cypher as well, as he gets traded out and then twists with a nice flip of the wrist. Clutched it out, and that's going to be 11-9 in favor of CSGO, now placing him within 2 rounds of the victory.
I mean, you're looking at the difference between the 2K and then the 3K for each. They both pick up 3 apiece, and then whoever wins that trade gets a 4th for themselves, so Twist just able to clutch it up, but you see the benefit of that resurrection. Just trying to even this out, but it does not matter. Twist having that high ground and trying to peek it doesn't matter at all, as deciding to take that high elevation for a peek as compared to using the hard cover. So puts him out in the middle, gets punished for it, and 2 responses back to back for the CS team. 30 seconds gone by here. Last couple rounds coming to the edge as Ace finds Stewie yet again.
It's a great way to start the round immediately, especially taking off the impact of Stewie.
It's that Ace sight. That Cubby, man, pushing through that middle area just does not seem fun for anybody so far, Jump.
I don't think anybody that finds himself on the receiving end of some of the shots that we've seen is going to be finding themselves in some fun situations. As now we find ourselves yet again into the choke point of death. As Nitro looks like he's going to be able to position himself something. Ace picks up a 2nd sniper kill. As they know the direction that it is, but it isn't going to be able to be enough for them to actually go onto the contest. Elise drops it down as Nitro. There we have it. Ace, no more sniping for you, my good sir. Go back to the spectator view as the spike is going to get planted down successfully. 3v3 retake situation.
Just so confident from Elijah as well, just sitting up top there. I think it was Nitro. He had 16 HP that entire time and just kept holding that peak, so those are the type of things that help out as Nap picks up Keller on the backside. They are punishing through tower. Another trade comes out, so we're down to a 1v2. It's up to Shroud. Can he hold off? He's got the stim for an extra 4 seconds. It falls off. Peeking both sides of the box here, and you can find when the plant needs to be defused, and it doesn't matter. As Nitro coming from Horseshoe and down the stairs. Lands one on top of Shroud's head and gets them the round.
And striking distance turns to match point. As Mendo and the rest of Team Valorant decided to not switch up teams. They wanted one more chance on Bind, and they were able to get 6 successful rounds in a row, but the last 3 have gone to in favor of Team CSGO. There will be full buys available. Well, split buys almost, as Keller only looks like he's sitting on a Spectre. But still, 3 ultimates are there, one of which, of course, is the raise on Mendo. So he will have the showstopper to potentially halt the tracks of CSGO as they find themselves now 1 round away, Lawler. 1 round from getting a clean 3-0 sweep and all across all 3 maps.
Turns out we're just playing a best of 5 now, guys. Slorp comes out from Nitro, seeing if he can pop anybody with that skyrocket help as well. But an extremely defensive positioning on all of this. Vision up top from Cypher, see if he can plant. Finds one in the backside, using that spy cam to full utilization. But it doesn't matter as 4 kills immediately. Now a 1v5. It doesn't matter for Stewie. And a flawless victory here for the Valorant team. So great response to them, getting rewarded for the full buy.
Their backs are against the wall every single round, and that means they have to continue to step up. It does look like there's double operator. Not too sure if they're actually going to be able to keep that, but if they do, that could be huge benefits for them. As Elise, unfortunately, sprayed through the smoke, but couldn't hit anybody onto that. And there you have it. A flawless victory. Still match point, though, for CSGO. So every round is going to have to be a clutch or kick as Team Valorant finds themselves against the wall.
Just a matter of how now the CSGO team wants to play. Whether they want to save a couple and make sure that they can full buy for the rest. And that's probably what's going to happen, is you're going to see them EQ up a couple rounds just to make sure that when it does get to that point where they need to win, say there's 2 rounds left. So probably after this one, they're going to be able to full buy if they lose. Every round they're out. So important moment here. Although the CS team has been phenomenal on their eco rounds, winning with pistols a majority of the time. Any kill is beneficial. Anything they can do to add detriment
Revealing area.
to the Valorant team, as Shroud drops his recon bolt, does find one before it gets destroyed. So you may see a rotation away. Looking at the map, you have Cypher on the bottom, just playing that swing position. He does have a spy cam as well that he can go back to.
Shroud being nice and patient with that
You're dead.
recon bolt before he decides to use the charge to make sure that he can spot them out almost specifically. Poach misses 2 shots, then comes around, still misses a 3rd yet again, and immediately gets bamboozled because it was a run it back that was there. Is Mendo able to pick up himself up too? They're not out of the woodworks just yet.
Shroud with a great flank, picks up Twist. Now a 4 versus 1, but the bomb has been planted. Someone needs to go for this defuse. It's not going to matter as they bring it back within 2. We could go down to the wire, but this is where it gets tricky now for the CS team.
It does. Now, for those of you that are newer to Valorant, it is 24 rounds total, which means that if Team Valorant is able to win this round, it will go to a best-of-1 overtime for that round number 25. So momentum is there. They have the money to buy as well, and this is where things are going to start to get potentially scary.
Yep,
it does look like, is that 3? Am I seeing this on my screen right now?
Hey, man,
3 operators?
when you're on defense, you just sit and hold a position, and all you got to do is click. So at this point, I don't necessarily blame them. It's a full buy at this point, so hold those angles, play defensive, and hope you can catch one. This is what I wanted to see out of CS team. I wanted to see them face adversity. Can they bounce back? Can they handle the pressure of a team that is essentially a little bit more experienced with this map? But a slow rotation here, just trying to keep these guys guessing. The more utility that is burned, the more it favors them. So Sage wall in front of Twist here. This has been kind of the doom spot for everybody, where no matter who goes here has been getting picked off by Ace or somebody else.
It's just a wasteland of bodies at this point in time.
Trying to break this wall as quickly as possible, so they can take a wider approach. Double sky smoke, one on top and one on the left. So blocking out tower as much as possible as they push onto site. One through teleporter as well. Trying to watch the flank.
They do get the spike planted, so that will give them a little bit of less struggle, as they're not going to have to push into the site. Now it's just keeping themselves onto the defense.
Cypher on Cypher. We got Cypher on Cypher just out of sight, and Elige takes the win. So Stewie went hunting, but didn't realize that he took teleporter all the way around. So we now have 2 pushing site against 3. Make that 1v3. It's down to Stewie. The plant's going out. He's got the rocket launcher, picks up 2. Can he clutch the 3rd? This could be a 4K for Stewie. He's peeking left. Holding right. Finds the kill, and Twist clutches it up.
Wow. Try as they may, try as they might, Valorant not going to be having him tonight, as it looks like that round 24, it went down to the last and final round of regular time. And what better way than to have CSGO clutch it out the way that they did.
My apologies, thinking it was Stewie. I just saw him playing it earlier, but Twist, my goodness, what a play. But that's the benefit of Raze that you can get, is just throwing in that AoE that does quite a bit of damage, catches one, and then just play.